Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Nigerians are beginning to react over the unfair treatment and over the unfair resource control that is ongoing in Nigeria. A lot of things have started springing up and it is beginning to make everyone to react very terribly over this issue because a lot of mineral resources are now being discovered in the north, but the way it's being handled is now questionable as the member of the House of Representatives for Degema Borno Federal Constituency in Rivers State, Farah Dagogo, criticizes the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative and federal government policies relating to the natural resources used recently condemned he now granted an interview that got us got our attention. He said, I'm not against the initiative. My position is simple. The whole process should be transparent. It shouldn't be small screen to give section of the country resource control while others agitations are not being met. I'm a firm believer in diversifying our economy. Nigeria is abundantly blessed with natural resources, and if these other areas are explored and tapped into, it will complement proceeds from coming from oil and gas, which have been the mainstay of our economy. In fact, in October last year, I prepared a motion titled urging the federal government to liberalize in solid minerals. As the short title suggests, that motion was meant to open up the large deposit of untapped mineral resources for the benefit of the government and its citizenry. Unfortunately, just like my other motions, it has not been listed for plenary. This motion and others were submitted at the office of the Speaker at the House of Representatives. There is a process I met there is a process I met. Motions have to pass through Speaker and get its approval before being forwarded to the Committee on Rules and Businesses. All these are to let you know that I am an advocate of opening up our economy and stop standardizing all sectors, including the mining sector. But in doing so, these have to be done in the right manner. If the majority of gold is in the north, as you claimed, does it mean that those from the south cannot invest in the region? That's the point. How do you invest? Unlike in the south, where all the major tribes in the country have high stakes in the oil and gas industry. That is not the same with the PAGMDI scheme, which is the Northern Gold Mine scheme. The thought of the ordinary people in the south, especially in the Niger Delta region, is that the presidency created PAGMDI, which enables gold miners get their gold to get it mined and then sell it to the Central Bank of Nigeria at 268 million naira for 12.5 kg of gold, which is 100% resource control or derivation, depending on your choice of semantics. The people of the Niger Delta are now asking, why is the same template not adopted with the oil in the south? Why are we, the South, not also allowed to independently get crude oil, just as it is done with the PAGMDI gold? Take it to the refinery built by the government to refine and have the CBN buy it at international rates. You recall that the president's address, he announced plans to build gold refinery for PAGMDI scheme. Those are the issues. I do not think it is in the interest or priority of the truth to invest in the gold deposit of the north if we are presently denied ownership and participation in the oil and gas industry domiciled in our locality. What guarantee do we have that we shall be given such privilege to own gold, iron ore, zinc, lead, silver, diamonds, and other mineral resources mined in the north? Have you bothered to audit the ownership of oil blocks in the oil producing states? Less than 3% of the mining license owners are from the oil producing communities. Does that inspire any hope of being accommodated for gold mine ownership in the north? I truly doubt it. Should oil in the south also be 100% revenue derivation, or gold should be at the same percentage as oil? That is what I just explained. The same gesture and template that were used to effectively achieve PAGMDI scheme should be replicated in Niger Delta. The PAGMDI scheme came into force in less than 1 year, and the Niger Delta has been clamoring for this for decades without any end in sight. Let us be devoid of Let us be devoid of terminologies and with whatnot. Our people in the south are finding it extremely difficult to reconcile the notion that a section is controlling its solid mineral resources like gold under PAGMDI, while they in the south can't do the same with their natural oil and gas resources. Where is the balance in all of this? Our people are resilient advocates of resource control and ownership, and as such should ordinarily be strong proponents of PAGMDI, which to us approximates our demand for resource control or ownership or fiscal federalism. If the economy is being diversified in a manner that deepens our enslavement by conceding resource ownership to the privileged from some advantaged part of the country, while our own resources will be tabled for the benefit of all, then that is not a fair-minded terminology for diversification of the economy of this country. It is unacceptable to us. There are laws of the Nigerian state which centered ownership of all natural resources within the Nigerian space on the federal government. It is if this is obnoxious laws that have enriched, entrenched, and deepened the punishment of oil and gas resource owners in Nigeria and aborted their yearning for resource control. To wake up one day and initiate a policy that confers resource ownership on a part of the country on the pretext of diversifying the economy is in rebellious conflict with the equity, fairness, and justice of this country. PAGMDI will no doubt create employment and empowerment. What then stops that which is sourced for the north from being sourced for the south? What is good for A should also be good for B, especially when both have similar peculiarities and potential. Of priority to the oil producing states and communities is the resource central or the irreducible minimum of fiscal federation. Local refineries will be too tokenistic with the leverage given to the so-called artisanal miners in the north to mine and sell their solid mineral resources like gold to CBN, which approximates resource ownership and control. Such prerogatives should be extended to the oil bearing states and communities. You are aware that a recent study by the Stakeholder Democracy Network revealed that black market fuel refined in the creeks of the Niger Delta tends to have higher quality than the legally imported petrol, that's petroleum, PMS, that's a premium motor spirit, and diesel automotive gas oil imported into Nigeria from Europe. What does that tell you? Why are our refineries still moribund? Since part of this government's mantra is self-production, why can't we refine our products? Why can't the government engage people from the affected region, apart from being those who face the hazards of oil pollution and environmental degradation, among others? They understand the terrains and are very vast in the oil and gas workability. Why would you not encourage them? There are a lot of whys, and the government will do well to address these issues. Not at I just told you that I prepared a motion at opening of the economy. I act and work at the bevies of the constituents. If a move is not in our interest, it is expected that we that represent them speak out, and that is what we are doing. I have friends and associates that cut across all tribes of country and of this country, and we are very close and always in contact. So this is not a personal, but simply demanding that doing what is right and just should be our action. Now, what is the definition of fiscal federalism? Because our definition of it today seem to align with where our bread is buttered. On paper, we seem to be practicing fiscal federalism, but in reality, it is the complete opposite of it. What I think we need to do is support and give comparative advantage to these resources each region enjoys. The tenets of true federalism dictate fiscal federalism, which in its simplest meaning suggests that the federating units own, control, and manage their resources and pay taxes to the center, the federal government. Whatever is the mutually agreed tax is subtracted from the 100% ownership of the federating unit and paid to the central government, as is now being endorsed for gold and other minerals in the north. It should also apply to oil and gas in the south and oil producing communities. After all, it is not a new trend in Nigeria. It was the practice when groundnut, cocoa, palm produce and so on were in mainstay of the economy. This changed when oil took charge in the south. Nigeria is abundantly and enormously blessed to be the economic hub of Africa in the real sense of the word. Unfortunately, we are where we are today. Let's just formulate a workable arrangement where the people are directly affected positively with the proceeds from their areas. It will also fast track development as well as create employment. For me, that is practical fiscal federalism, not where the federal government takes a large chunk with the with with close to nothing to show for it for the federating unit and the people involved. All right, that's basically what he has said. In a nutshell, you have now seen that even in resource control, we are still being marginalized. We're talking about the security, all from the north. Now in resource control, they just discovered that they have a lot of solid minerals in the north. They have given them 100% resource control. In the south, especially oil producing states, very few people from the south owns those oil blocks, majorly owned by the north. Have you now seen how this country is playing out? Let's meet in that comment section, let's interact. Because honestly, sometimes it's good for these federal guys and the lawmakers to speak up. You can now see. So this issue of having a true federalism practice in paper, in reality, it is not done. Have you now seen that they don't even want we to also partake in the, we don't want average Nigerians to partake in the north mine gold mines that is in the north, so that we too can buy and do the same thing they're doing in oil and gas communities. Nigeria will healthy, and with this sovereignty being under siege, Chinese have plenty things to work on. They can plenty places where they can get their money within the space of even 10 years if they choose to, but they won't do that. Let's see how it plays out. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned.